so since my hair color is, I need to set a timer. Okay, so hey guys, since I am coloring my hair right now, I thought I would do a video on giving you some kind of tips for coloring your hair at home and whatnot. So I'm just going to jump right into this because I'm probably going to talk a lot, just knowing me. So my number one tip for coloring your hair at home is don't do it. Like, seriously, don't color your hair at home. And you guys are probably thinking right now, this chick is a freaking hypocrite because she's sitting here with hair color on her hair telling me not to color my hair at home. Here's why. I am a professional hairstylist. I am no longer working as a hairstylist, but I do still have all of that knowledge up in here. So I know what I'm doing when I'm coloring my hair. I'm also using professional products on my hair. I'm not going to the store and buying box color or whatever. Basically, my goal for my head right now is I just want to get my blonde out and go back to my natural color, which most people would think, oh, super easy, just put the color of your natural hair color all over your head and it'll be perfect. That is wrong. I've basically had to do a color correction on my head here, which most people would not do that. If they're coloring their hair at the home, they would just put the color on their head and be done with it. What's going to happen if I were to do that to my head now? My ends would have been green, my roots would have been orange, and I would have had to go to the salon and get it fixed anyways. So basically what I'm trying to say is things that you think may be super simple are not simple at all. They're actually kind of more complicated than you might think. There's a lot of things that us as stylists have to think about when coloring your hair. We have to think about underlying pigments. We have to work in controlling pigments if you have any gray in your hair. Pretty rare that I'm usually putting like an all over just one color, not mixing anything else into it before putting it on someone's head. I'm usually mixing at least two colors together before putting a color on someone's head. So basically just don't color your hair at home. Go to a professional who is going to be able to take into account all of the pigment, the health of your hair, anything else that we kind of have to think of as stylists when coloring your hair. Yeah, that you can't really do that with box color. So, yeah. Yes, going to a salon may be more expensive, but you are going to get better color, your hair is going to be healthier, you're going to get more longevity from the color, and all of that stuff. So that being said, I guess my tip number 2 is do not use box color on your hair ever. And when I say ever, I mean like ever, ever. It's the worst stuff you could possibly put on your head. One of the reasons box color is so awful for your hair is box color is like a one-size-fits-all color. Usually it's a higher developer than what most people need for their hair, so it is going to open up the cuticle, which is the outer layer of the hair, way more than necessary, and your color's just not going to last as long. Another reason why you don't necessarily need a high developer is it's once you put a higher developer on the hair, you're going to expose some of the underlying pigment, so the color could turn out to be warmer than what you necessarily wanted it to be. Most of the time when I would have someone come into the salon with some sort of color correction, their hair didn't turn out the way they wanted it to, it's because they put box color on their head, and that is a million times harder to fix when it comes into the salon than if they had just like come into the salon in the first place. Also, you're gonna end up spending way more money to get it fixed than if you had just come into the salon to had it done in the first place. There are people yelling next door and I can hear people screaming through my walls. Okay, I don't even know what I was saying anymore, holy crap. So one of the things when coming into the salon and getting your hair colored is we can determine exactly kind of what developer we need to use on your hair to keep your hair healthy as possible. Another thing with professional hair colors, specifically the color line that I use and I'm comfortable with, I prefer Goldwell hair color. It's the brand that I was taught on and the brand that we used at the salon that I worked at as well, so I've just always worked with Goldwell. It's an amazing color line. They've got amazing colors. I could go on about how much I love Goldwell forever, but one of the things that Goldwell does, they have quite a few patented technologies that they put into their color. I know one of them kind of helps prevent hair color from fading. They have another one that actually strengthens your hair while they're coloring it, which is amazing. Most hair colors don't do that, but they have a technology that actually can help strengthen your hair while they're coloring it, which you're never going to find anything like that ever in a box color. The next thing that I want to talk about when it comes to coloring your hair is You may think that going to like a Sally Beauty Supply is better because you can at least pick the volume of developer that you're going to be using, which in that sense it is a little bit better, but they're still not professional colors. You would never find a salon using color that you can buy at Sally because it is still not professional. The thing that I kind of like to compare it to, I've never been to New York City, so I have no idea where it is, but I know there's that street that you can buy knockoff Gucci purses or knockoff like high-end brands. That's kind of how I consider Sally Beauty Supply, is they're kind of like knockoff professional products. Also, another thing when it comes to going to Sally Beauty Supply is, yes, you can talk to the salespeople and they sound like they know what they're talking about because they have like a 2-day training course on hair color. They have no idea what the heck they're talking about. I mean, there are some things that, yes, I've overheard people talking in there, and some of it is right, but I've also had a client come in just for a haircut. She previously, the day before, had colored her hair from Sally's, and she's telling me while I'm shampooing her hair, she's like, I have this rash along my hairline here. And I could see that she had just previously colored her hair the day before because it was black, and you can see that it stained the skin a bit. So I asked her what kind of hair color she'd used on her hair. She said, well, I went to Sally's. I knew immediately what it was that caused the irritation on her skin before I even asked her. I knew exactly what her answer was going to be. Because Sally is just like so notorious for doing this. They will sell you a hair color and then they will tell you that you can buy whichever developer you want to go with it, which is totally not true. The hair color and the developers are designed to go together, so all of a sudden if you start mixing one hair color brand with a different brand of developer, those chemicals could react in a way that could be irritating to your skin, and she could have had like serious issues with like a serious rash coming on because those two products are not designed to go together, and they're just telling these people that you could do this. Oh my gosh, this pisses me off so much that they actually think this is right because this is what they're taught, and you cannot mix two different products together because they are not designed to go together. Oh my god! Like, honestly, I'll get so riled up over this because it's just so frustrating, and people listen to them and they think they're right. So if they're telling you something that can possibly like cause harm or damage to your skin and you can have a bad reaction, if they're telling you that you can do things like that, what else do you think they're telling you that is not right? Like, you can't trust a thing that they say, basically, is what I'm trying to say here. They are associated with Cosmoprof, which is kind of like the professional place where I would go as a stylist to go get professional products. Cosmoprof does own them, but even like I can walk into a Cosmoprof and ask one of the sales associates anything about any of the products. They don't need to be licensed hairstylists or estheticians to work there. I do believe they do have some sort of training, but it's not the in-depth training that you get if you're going to hair school or a cosmetology school. So I can't even walk in as a professional and try to ask them about, like, say, Schwarzkopf hair color line that I don't know anything about. They don't necessarily know anything about it either. So, that being said, if you do know someone that is a hairstylist and can go to Cosmoprof or whatever, I still wouldn't suggest you getting them to go buy the color for you and you do it yourself, because you also do not have the training on that hair color. You don't know the underlying pigments of the color, you don't know the technologies that are in there, you don't know how to properly mix the color, you don't know like the swatches and if they're true to swatch or how that's all going to play out, especially with like what's going on with your hair, and if you have color on your hair, if you have anything on your hair. There's still someone screaming next door to me. I have no idea what they're screaming about. Basically, even if you can get your hands on professional hair color, I still wouldn't suggest doing it yourself, because even applying it, like, I've got it applied here that, like, I only colored my ends, I brought some through up to my roots to try and blend everything together. You'd still probably, it's easiest to obviously just throw it over my whole head, but I'm still not going to get even application of color. So things like that us as stylists take into consideration, you might not necessarily do, or you might not necessarily know that you need to do that in that situation. Basically, the gist of this video is just don't color your hair at home. Go to a professional, someone that either you know or you trust. If you feel like you don't have a salon that you can go to that you trust, I would look up reviews online. If you like their reviews, if you found that other people have had really good experiences there, I would suggest maybe even just going in for a consultation. That way you can get a feel of what the stylist is like. They can explain to you everything they would do to your hair. Ask lots of questions too. Like, don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're unsure about anything, get them to explain it. Most places will do a free consultation and will do all of that and explain everything to you. If they're a good salon, they will have absolutely no problem doing that. Also, if they're a good salon, they'll be able to answer all of your questions for you pretty well and explain everything in a way that you understand it as well. So don't be afraid of going to a salon. Sometimes it can be scary because it's like you're putting your hair in someone else's hands, but it's going to be better for your hair in the long run to do that than doing it yourself, having something go wrong, and having to go to a salon anyways. It's better to just do it right in the first place, because there's going to be a lot more damage to your hair, and it's going to be a lot harder on your hair and your scalp and everything just trying to fix it. And then probably my last comment that I will make is, especially if you're lightening your hair, don't ever try to lighten your hair on your own. I don't care if you're lightening it with hair color, if you're lightening it with a bleach or a lightener, just don't ever do it. I guarantee your hair will be either flaming orange or flaming gold, yellow, or you'll overtone it or something, it'll turn green. I know, because I've done all of those things to my hair. I wouldn't even, as a professional, I wouldn't even lighten my own hair. I wouldn't even bother. I always get someone else to lighten my hair for me. So I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say about coloring your hair and getting your hair colored. Basically, yeah, just don't do it yourself. It's a lot more complicated than it may seem. I was in hair school for 10 months. 2 of those months were spent teaching color, and that's not even doing it on people yet. That's just learning all of the theory and all of that stuff. So don't think it's just like, oh, I put a color on my head, it's going to turn out right. Yes, that may work for some people, but it's not always going to work out that way. So it's just better to go to a salon, get it done right in the first place. Your hair will thank you for it. I'm going to go rinse this soon. Once I rinse it, I will show you guys the finished product. Knowing my luck, my hair won't even turn out properly, because my hair just likes to do the opposite of what hair should do. My hair defies the laws of color, basically. I was in a model in a hair show one time, and they had to color my hair 7 times because it wasn't cooperating, and on most people, they probably would have only had to do it once. So, yeah, we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully it works. So I'm going to go rinse this. I will show you guys the finished product when I come back. Okay guys, so this is my hair once I blow dried it, flat ironed it. As you can see, the ends are still like quite ashy. So, I mean, I'm cool with it. It actually looks a little bit worse on camera too. It doesn't look quite as ashy in person. I mean, I'm cool with it. I know it's gonna fade kind of warm, but case in point, like, even I'm coloring my hair as a stylist, knowing what the fuck I'm doing, and it still kind of didn't turn out quite right. But if I had gone to a salon, this probably wouldn't have happened. It probably would have been totally fine. Or even if this did happen at a salon, they would have been able to easily fix it right there. And my cat's opening the door. I don't have a ghost, I swear, it's my cat. You gonna come say hello? No? Okay. I used a demi-permanent color, so that's why the ends are a little bit lighter. If I had used a permanent color, it would have covered a lot better, but I didn't want it to do that. I did want it to kind of still kind of have that ombre look. I just didn't want it to be that starkness that I had between the white blonde and my natural color. I just wanted it to blend a little bit nicer, so when it fades it'll definitely give that effect that I want. So I'm cool with it being a little bit ashier as it is right now. But yeah, I'm sure there are plenty of things I missed. If you have any follow-up questions or if you feel like I didn't go into enough detail on certain things, just let me know in the comments below and I will definitely get back to you and answer any questions that you guys may have. Other than that, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!